Power issue between the governor and state lawmakers.
We've got a pretty decent day for us today despite the clouds, but big changes on the way. We're going to break it all down coming up.
And Florida is in for more severe weather. We take a look at the path of damage Nicole is expected to leave behind.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Missouri voters say yes to recreational marijuana, and Kansas voters vote against a proposal to shift the balance of power between Kansas lawmakers and the governor. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, the latest midterm election results for local, state, and federal races. Now, there were several state questions on the Missouri ballot. The big one, though, Constitutional Amendment number 3, allowing recreational marijuana for people over the age of 21. Over 53% of Missouri voters approved recreational marijuana for the state. In Kansas, voters considered a couple of constitutional amendments. Question 1 would allow the legislature to suspend or revoke rules made by executive branch agencies. This amendment was close but did not pass. Also on Kansas ballots, a question to preserve the rights of citizens to elect county sheriffs. This amendment did pass. In the closely watched Kansas governor's race, Democratic Governor Laura Kelly is defending her title against current Attorney General Derek Schmidt. Kelly was the only Democratic governor running for re-election in a state carried by former President Donald Trump in 2020. Now, this race was a close one, with Governor Kelly winning. And in Oklahoma, incumbent Republican Governor Kevin Stitt wins re-election over his Democratic challenger, Joy Hoffmeister. Well, the midterm elections are one for the record books for Jasper County. Out of 81,907 registered voters in Jasper County, 34,903 ballots were cast. That's a nearly 43% turnout, and the third largest turnout for a November election in Jasper County. Despite the large numbers, voting went smoothly. County Clerk Charlie Davis gives his staff the credit.
I give my staff great credit. They've done a very good job. The poll workers performed very well. Things went very smoothly in the light of new election laws that were passed in Missouri.
Davis goes on to say more than 200 people worked the polls this year for Jasper County. You can head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com for complete 4-state election results. Well, we're in for another 70-degree November day today. Seems a bit odd, but hey, we're in the 4 states, right? Chris Warner joins us with a first look at the forecast.
It is just a bit on the odd side for us to have temperatures quite that warm across the area. This is what we're supposed to be at. 61 is our normal high and 39 is our normal low. Thankfully, we're not quite near the record high, but when we take a look at the full forecast a little later, that number is going to pop up again, so we'll see what happens there. Right now, though, Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear in our area, and we're still watching our next storm system out to our west. Earlier this morning, it was on the far western edge of Utah, now getting ready to move into western Colorado, and it's expected to be here by tomorrow afternoon, bringing some big changes to the forecast. 68 in Yates Center, 70 in Chanute, 72 in Pittsburgh, and boy, we are a bit on the warm side in Joplin right now. 78, of course, you saw we've got mostly cloudy skies across the city. The good news is, well, it's warm if you like the warm weather. It does feel like 80, believe it or not, with a south-southwest wind at about 16. We'll continue to stay on the warm side in the Joplin area, and as you can see, even as we go through the night, temperatures not dropping all that much, and our projected high initially 76, and most of us are still going to be around there, but Joplin decided, let's go a little bit warmer. We're going to be mostly cloudy. Any shower chances are pretty well gone from the area for the rest of this evening, and later tonight, we'll eventually begin to even clear out, but that cold front is on its way. It's supposed to be here tomorrow afternoon. It is going to bring big changes to the forecast, and we're going to talk about all of that here in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Tropical Storm Nicole is expected to make landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in fewer than 24 hours. This would be the first landfalling hurricane in Florida in the month of November in nearly 4 decades. Nicole is expected to bring as much as 6 inches of rain from Melbourne to Jacksonville and inland to Orlando, which was particularly inundated with rainfall from Hurricane Ian. Evacuation orders were issued for some areas this morning, and President Biden has declared an emergency for Florida. FEMA is still on the ground there, responding in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. Lawyers for WNBA star Brittany Griner say Russian authorities are transferring her to a labor camp. The move comes after the athlete lost an appeal in a Moscow court. The 32-year-old will serve the remainder of her 9-year sentence for drug smuggling in a type of prison where U.S. officials say authorities have systematically tortured inmates, in some cases resulting in death or suicide. Former inmate and member of the feminist protest group Pussy Riot say the labor camp will be a tough experience for Griner. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM News at noon, we're making pepperoni garlic bread in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. But first, more midterm election results.
Control of Congress is still up for grabs as midterm results continue to stream in. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill, recapping some of the pivotal races and what's left to determine the balance of power.
There are still many races to be decided, but with control of Congress at stake, some of last night's midterm election results are coming as a surprise to election pundits. CBS News projects Republican Ron Johnson the winner in Wisconsin's tight Senate contest, while the vote counting continues in 4 other Senate races. Skyler Henry has the latest from Washington, D.C.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
John Fetterman's hard-fought win over Mehmet Oz in Pennsylvania's Senate race helped to lift Democrats to a better night than many expected.
And, this campaign has always been about fighting for everyone who's ever been knocked down that ever got back up.
Control of the House is leading Republican, while the Senate is still up for grabs.
We are not sure if this journey is over.
Georgia's Senate contest is likely headed for a December runoff, with incumbent Raphael Warnock and Republican challenger Herschel Walker both short of the required 50% threshold.
We're in a fight, are we not? We're in a fight.
In Ohio, Republican J.D. Vance won an open Senate seat. There are still at least 15 toss-up races in the House, but GOP leaders are confident they'll be in control when all the votes are counted.
Now let me tell you, you're out late. But when you wake up tomorrow, we will be in the majority and Nancy Pelosi will be in the minority.
218 seats are needed for the majority, and election analysts say it could be a few days before it's all sorted out. When it comes to the issues, exit polls show inflation, followed by abortion, were most important to voters in this pivotal midterm election. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The 2022 elections are on track to cost $16.7 billion at the state and federal level, and that's according to the nonpartisan group Open Secrets. It's more than double the midterms from just 8 years ago. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Blues, with a meal that's easy, exciting, and irresistible. So don't touch that remote.
Plus, we've got storms on the horizon as we are watching a cold front moving in. We'll talk about that coming up. But first, here's a look at a few more 4-state election results. Another very mild day for us here across the 4 states. Very unusual for this time of year. Temperatures upwards of 20, almost 30 degrees above where they should be for this time of year in some cases. Right now in the Skywatch Storm Tracker, other than dealing with a lot of passing clouds, there is nothing going on in our area. We have to head out west, where our next weather system is. Now, earlier this morning, it was just exiting Nevada, moving into Utah. Now it's getting ready to exit Utah and start moving into Colorado, and it will be here by tomorrow afternoon. Right now, though, 7th and range line, it looks good. Just again, those partly to mostly cloudy skies. South-southwest breeze at 16, gusting upwards of about 20, 25 in some cases. 78. Can you believe this? It is November, and we have a heat index of 80 degrees in November. That's how unusually warm it is ahead of our next system. So here's the deal, though. If you like the mild weather, you better get out and enjoy it today and early tomorrow because it is not going to be here for much longer. 68 Yates Center, 69 Neodesha, 70 in Parsons, 72 in Pittsburgh, 75 in Neosho and in Carthage, also 75 in Monette. As we go through today, some of us are going to get up close to about 80 degrees for the high today, which is just absolutely crazy considering that we're, a third of the way into November now? Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies. Will be mostly cloudy for most of this evening, and by early tomorrow morning, clouds will start to clear out and we're going to drop back down to, again, a very mild 63 degrees. So the future track now is going to show us some of the changes that we have on the way for us. As we head in through tonight, as you see, we get the passing clouds and everything. Early Thursday morning, way out in north central Kansas is that cold front. By the time we hit noon, here it is in our area. So the actual front right here, and ahead of it, some showers and thunderstorms trying to get going. And as the front closes in and closes that gap, because you can see where the wind arrows change, so this line right here is the front itself, we start to see a few more showers and thunderstorms by about 3:30 in the afternoon. And by 5, 6 o'clock, we get a pretty decent line of showers and thunderstorms rolling through the area. And this will hold on for a little while. It's not very quick to get out, and it tries to have a little redevelopment on the backside of it. This is 11 o'clock. Some of it's still falling in southwest Missouri. A brief break, and then very early tomorrow morning, we could see another brief passing of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two out there. We are looking at absolutely chilly conditions, cold conditions after this. We're also keeping an eye on this. This is a low-end threat for maybe some strong storms out there. The overall risk is low in this green area, but it is there. And if we were to see anything, wind is really the main concern with any storms that may get a little on the strong side tomorrow. Sometime between 4 and 11 is what we're looking at. Now, 7-day forecast. 72 tomorrow, 36 for the low. That's the first big change. 44 on Friday, 42 on Saturday, both nights into the 20s, 50 Sunday and Monday. And then Monday, we're down to freezing, and so we've got some evening showers Monday that could turn into some morning flurries by Tuesday. We're not talking inches and inches of snow or anything, but some stray flurries possible Tuesday morning. And you take a look at the long range, our highs try and recover. We get back into the lower to mid 50s by the end of next week, but look at those overnight lows. Once we hit 36 Thursday night, yeah, they don't really break that point. 36 is the warmest night we're going to have for a while. So we're going to go from well above average to well below average within a matter of about 48 hours.
And a chance of snow. Look at
and
that.
It's a very slim chance of some flurries, but nonetheless, our first little taste of snow possible by Tuesday morning.
Yep, and we haven't had a stretch of freezing temperatures yet, so.
No, this is probably the longest stretch of below freezing temperatures we've had so far this season. And boy, I mean, it's going to go from summer to winter in just a short period of time.
Yeah, basically enjoy today and tomorrow while you can.
Yeah, and make sure if you're enjoying tomorrow, you do it before it starts to rain because you do not want to be out there in those thunderstorms.
Yeah, and the temperature will drop.
It will, rapidly.
Thank you, Chris. We take this time to honor today's 4-state hero, Private First Class William Lamb Sr. in the U.S. Army. The soldier from Galena, Kansas, joined the 65th Anti-Aircraft Artillery Gun Battalion in 1941. During World War II, he earned both the Good Conduct Medal and the American Defense Service Ribbon. To William Lamb Sr., we thank you, our 4-state hero. If you're looking for the perfect homemade garlic bread to serve with your Italian dinner, you're in luck. Howard shows us how to make pepperoni garlic bread in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Midweek dinner blues, I have just the thing to get you over the hump. It's a simple recipe that's just as fitting for lunch as it is teamed up with a salad for dinner. Let me tell you, it's perfect on those nights when all you want to do is curl up on the couch with a movie. I'm talking about a loaded pizza-style garlic bread that's nothing short of, well, let's just say amazing. We start by combining some olive oil, fresh minced garlic, and a little salt and pepper. This gets brushed over the cut side of a crusty Italian bread. Make sure you slather this generously. It's what gives this dish lots of flavor. Over that goes chopped plum tomatoes, some sliced pepperoni that we've chopped, and a good amount of shredded mozzarella cheese. Now we'll bake this in a really hot oven, just long enough for the edges to get toasty and the cheese to melt. Sprinkle on some scallions, slice it with a serrated knife, and it's ready to dig into. It's sort of a cross between the best garlic bread you've ever had and an ooey gooey pepperoni pizza. To get the recipe for our pepperoni garlic bread, simply check out our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a garlicky great way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. It's good?
It looks good. Well, you can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just log on to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
Well, we've got some big changes coming our way. We're looking at some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow with a cold front bringing temperatures way down. The 40s Friday and Saturday, 50s Sunday and Monday. In fact, we may even see a stray flurry or two Tuesday morning with lows in the 20s and the 30s.
What a change. Yeah,
that's officially cold. That's
yeah.
parka cold overnight.
Yes, it is. What do we have coming up tonight at 5?
A lot coming up at 5. For starters, respiratory illnesses are making the rounds just in time for the holiday season. But after several years apart, families are ready to gather again. In Health Watch, we have tips to keep your family healthy over the holidays. Plus, reaction on the passage of recreational marijuana in Missouri. And Joplin High and Franklin Technology students are raising funds to help area foster kids enjoy this Christmas. Hope you join us for those stories. A whole lot more, of course. It's all coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
All right. Thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.